You know, he always thought those horror stories were just exaggerations you see online. He never imagined I'd be living one myself, and definitely not one with such a perfect twist ending. It all started a few months ago when my wife and I finally bought our dream house in what seemed like a peaceful, friendly suburban neighborhood. The house was perfect, the neighbors seemed great, and we were so excited to start our new life. The first few weeks were amazing. We met a few people on our street. Everyone was welcoming, and we felt like we really found our place. To celebrate our new home and get to know everyone better, we decided to throw a good old-fashioned grass party. Nothing too crazy, just a casual get-together. We planned a barbecue, got some drinks, made a playlist of some classic rock and pop hits not too loud, just good vibes. We even went door to door to personally invite all our immediate neighbors. We told them it would be from around 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on a Saturday. We wanted to be considerate. Most people were thrilled and said they'd be sure. But then we got to her house. Let's call her Karen. When we knocked on Karen's door, she opened it just a crack, peering at us like we were trying to sell her something. We introduced ourselves with big smiles, explained we were the new neighbors, and invited her to the party. Her face just soured. She didn't smile back. She just said, "I'm aware of who you are. A grass party? How utterly tacky. You do know this is a respectable neighborhood, right? And you'll be keeping the noise down, I assume." The HOA has strict rules about disturbances. We were a bit taken aback but tried to stay friendly. We assured her it would be a low-key event and would wrap up by 10 p.m. sharp. She just sniffed, gave a non-committal will see about that, and shut the door in our faces. Okay, so not everyone was going to be our best friend. We shrugged it off, figuring she was just a bit prickly. We had no more idea what we were in for. The day of the party arrives, and it's going great. The sun is shining, the burgers are sizzling on the grill, and about 20 of our friends and new neighbors are mingling in our driveway and open grass. The music is at a very reasonable volume, just background noise for conversation. People are laughing, kids are playing. It's exactly the wholesome neighborhood vibe we were hoping for. We were having an amazing time, connecting with people and feeling so happy about our move. Around 11 p.m., I noticed Karen standing on her porch, arms crossed, just staring. It was a bit creepy, but he decided to kill her with kindness. He waved and shouted, "Hey, come on over and grab a burger." She just glared, turned around, and went back inside, slamming her door. A neighbor standing next to me chuckled and sighed, "Don't mind her. She's the self-appointed neighborhood watch, judge, and jury. She's got the HOA bylaws memorized." We all had a little laugh about it and went back to enjoying the party. About 45 minutes later, just as the sun was setting, the mood shifted. We saw flashing red and blue lights coming down our street. 2 police cars pulled up right in front of our house. The music instantly stopped, and everyone turned to look. My heart sank. I thought maybe there was a serious accident nearby. But then, 2 officers got out and started walking straight up our driveway. My mind was racing. What could possibly be wrong? One of the officers, looking very serious, approached me and said, "Sir, we received a noise complaint. A caller reported an out-of-control party with excessive noise and public intoxication." He was stunned. He looked around. Our music was barely audible, and everyone was just chatting. "Officer," he said, completely bewildered, "I think there's been a mistake. This is just a small housewarming barbecue with our neighbors." As he was explaining, I saw Karen peeking through her blinds, a smug little smile on her face. It all clicked. She actually called the cops on us. The officer looked skeptical, but then something amazing happened. A voice from the back of our grass called out, "Hey, Dave, Mark, what are you two doing here?" We all turned. It was one of our guests, a guy named Tom, walking toward the officers with a big grin. Tom was one of the first people we met in the neighborhood. He's a super nice, down-to-earth guy, and we'd hit it off immediately. The 2 officers' serious faces instantly broke into smiles. "Chief," one of them said, looking surprised, "we had no more idea you were here. We got a call about a disturbance." That's right. My new friend, my guest, Tom, was the chief of police for our entire city. He had absolutely no more idea. He just introduced himself as Tom, who lived a few streets over. My jaw was practically on the floor. Tom laughed and clapped the officers on the shoulder. Hey Said, a disturbance? The only disturbance here is that we're about to run out of potato salad. These folks are throwing the most responsible party I've been to in years. Let me guess. The call came from that house officer? He gestured with his thumb toward Karen's house. The officers exchanged a look and one of them sighed. You guessed it, Chief. It is the third time this month we've been called to this block for a frivolous complaint from that address. My neighbors started murmuring, sharing their own stories about Karen calling code enforcement on them for the grass being a quarter inch too long or reporting them for parking their car the wrong way. The chief of police, my buddy Tom, just shook his head. He turned to the officers and sighed, All right, guys, false alarm. I'll handle this. You two go on back to patrol. Sorry for the trouble. They nodded, said goodbye, and laughed. As their cars pulled away, the party slowly started to come back to life. But now everyone was buzzing with what had just happened. Tom walked over to me, and he was just speechless. Tom, he stammered, You're the police chief? He laughed. Yeah, sorry. You don't usually lead with that. Tends to make things weird at barbecues. But hey, don't worry about her. Some people just thrive on drama. He then looked over at Karen's house, where the blinds had snapped shut. He sighed. You know what? I think that as time he had a little chat with my officers about how to handle nuisance calls from that particular address. And maybe a friendly, off-the-record visit with the HOA president, who happens to be a golfing buddy of mine. The rest of the night was legendary. The story of Karen calling the cops on the police chief's party spread like wildfire. Everyone was laughing, and the sense of community felt even stronger. We partied right up until 10 p.m. And as people were leaving, they all thanked us for the best neighborhood story of the year. The next morning, I saw Karen getting her mail. I gave her my biggest, friendliest wave. She just stared at me, her face pale, and practically ran by inside her house. We haven't had a single issue with her since. In fact, the whole neighborhood seems a little more peaceful. It just goes to show you, sometimes karma doesn't just knock on the door, it shows up with a badge and a great sense of humor. And that's how my HOA Karen nightmare turned into the most satisfying moment I've ever had. Thanks for listening to my story, and if you liked it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more. See you next time.